Okay. Live it is. If anyone wants to get the first comment, get it in now. Well, happy Father's Day, everyone. I am wearing my, I'm only a stepfather, but I'm still wearing my tux. I'm wearing my pink tux for Father's Day. So welcome to the Fidget Nerd channel where, we're broadcasting here from beautiful British Columbia, Canada. Canada, where the healthcare is free and the fidgets are more expensive. So, little payoff there. Oh, well. Anyway, so this stream, I have finally the Magnus Atom. Very weird new fidget, but I'm kind of interested about it. I couldn't really let it pass me by just because it was so different, so kind of unique. So we're going to look at that. And then I'm also going to show you some of my favorite small spinners. I think small spinners are just absolutely, they're so fucking good. And I think people overlook them sometimes. You think bigger is better and stuff like that. But looking through it, I realized I have so many more small spinners than I have large spinners. I just seem to be attracted to them. And I thought I would go over some of the ones that I think are the best. But before we start that, I wanted to see if I could start kind of a new little segment. I thought I would do the Fidgets of the Week sort of thing, like what I've been playing with, during the past week. You see what I did there? It's like flavors of the week, but it's like fidgets of the week. Anyway, it's funny. Hey, Pam. Nice to see you too. Have you ever tried spinners from 313 Inc? You know what? I almost did, but I have not. I've only tried his buttons. I was close. I was very close. I heard that one of his like triangle spinners, that was one of the really, really good ones. So I had it on good authority from someone else. I also heard from some people that they came with a bit of balancing issues sometimes. There was a bit of wobble, so possibly not the best quality going on in that sense. What we got here? 363 Matthew. Mini Edamame, fuck yes. Torque Bar Luna, oh my God, I want one so bad. It's on my list, man. And if I had it here for a small spinner, I would be putting it out there. It will be mine. I will own one of those one day. But I'm pretty sure that the one I'm going to get is the Torque Bar Luna Magnum. So you can get the Torque Bar Luna Hybrid, thinner design. But I feel like I'm going to get mine in tungsten. So I feel like I would need the Torque Bar Luna Magnum just to get that added weight in the tungsten. It is very small. And then I think it would start to stack up more to around the feel and weight of Tungsten Mini Edamame. And the 2EDC Nectar, and you say the 2EDC Nectar on my favorite small spinners. Yeah, the Nectar looks pretty cool. I would definitely mess with that one in tungsten as well. I kind of held off because of that, because I'm just kind of a W head. Shameless W head, and I don't care. I love it. Okay, Fidgets of the Week. So, first one that I have been playing with is, speaking of 2EDC, the Big Poe. Big Poe in bronze with its stock buttons. I'll just give you what that sounds like. Yeah, loving it so far. This one I'm kind of playing with a lot. Anyway, 2EDC again. This is the Tungsten OG Triangle. This thing is at the top of my list of fidgets for ages now. I absolutely fucking love it. I can't live without it. It's one of like my all-time grail fidgets. And then on there, I have superconductor buttons that are meant for the Modus Works Thinema thing. So they are almost, they're like 0.98 of an inch. They're very, very tight tolerance. They barely fit, but they do fit. And then I have them shimmed so they will actually work with this. And I switched around with buttons for a long time. And I came back to these ones for this. And it's so fucking perfect. This thing, I might get buried with it. That's all I'm saying. I'll show you what that sounds like. It's a little like gyroscopic machine. It's absolutely amazing. That's not fidget of the week. Okay. Copper Chelsea M from Indie Thick. Unboxed that, I believe, in the last stream and have been messing around with that a lot. Coincidentally, that is also, one of the small spinners that I have. And yeah, just been messing with that. I've noticed that it is faster than the Chelsea SF. I'll get some warp videos out later. YouTube was being a bit of a bitch, and I tried to get one out the other day. Really good one I took, but it wouldn't let me. So I'll publish that later. The warps are it's so fast that it's hard to get it to slow down, to actually get to the warp zone. So that's what I noticed when I first warped it. It is faster than the SF. The mokume Naboo 2.0 from NJT Handpower. And I am using the Naboo 2.0 tungsten, blackened tungsten grips on it. And it is just perfect when I want that center weight, but I want something a little bit lighter. Absolutely been loving it. It actually does have a pretty good sound. And yeah, you're right, Matthew. Sometimes I want light. I can't only have tungsten. And that was the main reason I was kind of grabbing the big Poe, because I wanted something easier. And it is just, I had to give it some time, but it is just so much fun to kind of have something lighter. It still has some good gyroscopic feel to it and stuff. And it's, I like it. So another one I've been playing with all the time, and this one's at like God level with the triangle as well. And this is the blackened tungsten Naboo 2.0 from NJT. And I have the mokume buttons from the mokume one on it. It is a swap I did when I unboxed the mokume one. And it is just locked this spinner in for me so much. It is just so absolutely amazing with it. I don't know what it is. I need more mokume buttons in my life, I think. It's made me realize that. Great sound on this one. What else? Sorry, what else? Yeah, a little bit of playing with this, the Lycia, copper Lycia from Lic EDC. Try. The only other try that I currently own besides this one. Doesn't quite have the same sort of gyroscopic effect that I'm always looking for, especially from tries. That like feeling of it correcting itself on the axial plane when you move it around. It's just I think what we all go for almost when we're doing a try is that feeling. But it is still a lot of fun. I think the reason you get less of that gyroscopic feel is that you have big like 28 mil buttons on there as opposed to the smaller 24.5 mil buttons on here. So it takes up a little bit more of the body, and then you have less length on the arms. Less length on the arms can sometimes result in less gyroscopic feel, but it is quite a comfy and elegant spinner. First time I got this, I thought it's elegant, it's beautiful, and it's comfortable. Yeah, so I've been playing with that a little bit. Sliders. I've been playing with one of my favorites, of course, the old Fruity Pebbles, Rapt. And I've actually been playing with the Rapt Lite a lot as well. Something happened with the Rapt Lite. I was like, well, I'll go a little disclaimer out there. I when I was modifying it in my previous stream, I was, sanding plates and stuff like that. And I guess I put a little note in those videos saying to like, make sure you like wash your plates or wipe them off or something like that before you put them back together, because I don't believe I did that. So I think I got a little bit of something in there, and it ended up putting a couple scratches on it here and there. And they're so resilient in that way, how they just sort of work themselves out, and you can just sand it out and smooth it out again. And it just doesn't really matter, right? But what I thought was, oh, right, I remembered that if you use all strong magnets in a slider, it keeps it so together and like sucked together and tight that you actually wear in the plates faster. So I thought I'm going to do that, and we'll see what happens and see if it, helps kind of smooth those plates out faster. And it did. So now I have all strong in here, and I'm actually really enjoying it. It's, it's pretty good. Jordan put over Magnus 3-click versus Black Dog Biscuit. Which Magnus 3-click? Like, that's a hard one, man. Magnus has so many fucking designs. It's so hard to keep track of it. So hard. But I don't know. It really depends. So I had to tier these really quickly, and honestly, I'm doing this real fast. There, that's my gut tiering. My gut tiering of the Fidgets of the week. All right, cool. So that's it with that. All right. Let's open this freaking weird ass fidget. I'm super into this. Okay, so one thing I noticed on these Magnus boxes, world's best fidgets guaranteed. That's a bold claim, Magnus. It's a bold claim. But Magnus has always been that way. He's always into like the buzzwords. It's just like everything on his website is like, this is the best fidget ever. And with the Atom, he's like, this is the most fidgetable device to ever have been constructed by mankind. And it's like, you're like, okay, dude, okay, whoa, calm down. Like, we get it. You know, it gets us into the hype and the buzz, but he's really banking on that fact that it's kind of an addictive hobby in the way that, you know, you see something new and you go like, whoa, piece of candy. I need it. I want it. So he really plays into that a lot. And I think one of those things that I noticed as a collector is that I started to mature in the way where that stuff didn't affect me as much. And I had to kind of pull myself back from that and be like, no, Zach, what do you really like? You know, what is the last thing you actually really liked? And it helps. It helps to kind of pull yourself back and go, don't fall into that stuff, right? Because of course he's going to say that he wants to sell it. Pam L, give the triangle a try. You mean the triangle I have? Like the triangle, because that's a triangle from EDC, TwoEDC. Try the triangle. Try the copper. The copper. Okay. The next triangle I'm actually looking for, that I'm on the hunt for, is the big triangle in W from TwoEDC. I got the from 313. Okay, cool. Have you tried it? And did you get your MM3D tray ordered? We had to get you the email for Brian there before. I was hoping you got it all sorted out. I will keep an eye out for it. I heard it's got a really cool bearing systems with the O-ring and stuff like that, so it would be a good idea to try that out. Yeah, thank you for the advice. I'll keep a try for it. But yeah, still looking for that W big triangle. Anyway, I got my Bob back from Jordy over at Focusworks. Love this thing. It's been like the one kind of like knife thing that I've bought that I just keep using, and it's probably like one of his better inventions because it's got this blade system that's just great because you could flip it around while one side gets, you know, dull, but you basically just put it right there in the center spot, and then you push it down And then you take the blade and you kind of have to push it up a little bit and you slide it over top and it snaps into this magnet spot. And then you can just change it like that and see, you can see the magnet right there. It's like just this big disc magnet. Yeah. Anyway, I got it back from him because it fell out of my overalls at work. And this little screw right here basically just like split off. It sheared right off in there. So the other half of it was stuck in this part and it was all floppy. And I sent him a video. I was like, hey, can I send this to you? Because he's literally just over the ocean from me over in Shelt, BC or whatever. Super easy to get shit to him. So he was like, yeah, sure, send it over. So I sent it over. I was like, let me know what shipping will be or repair costs. Sends it back. Doesn't charge me shipping. Doesn't charge me repair costs. He's like, yeah, whatever, dude. It took me 5 minutes. All good. And I'm like, ah, thanks, Jordy. Right on. So I got this back. So happy to have this back. No tray yet. And yes, I have the copper triangle and very much enjoy. Good. Okay. Glad I got another good review. So that's like the one. I would say that's the spinner I've heard the most about from 313. So, and you know what happened? You know what happened is that I was looking for it. And I was really like honing into trying to get it. And oh. I was just making sure you didn't put, sometimes they put your address all over the little thing inside there. So I was just keeping out of the way. But yeah, no, new little thing here. Sorry, I got distracted by that. So yeah, the triangle, I was looking for it. And I kept waiting on the Etsy site for him to do another drop. And he just didn't. He was like, and then I guess I just got bored and I started looking for other stuff. And then by the time he'd actually made another one, I missed it. And you know how it goes, right? So that's a good way to come back to that. What legit perfect time you could, oh, like right when we're actually starting? Because I stalled like a motherfucker. Okay. Oh, you got coupons now. It's kind of a whole other thing. 15% off coupon. Yes, 15. Get this, guys. Look at this. Coupons. You want coupons? Just type that shit in. Go to the website. It'll work. Free coupons for Magnus. Boom. Okay, and then it's the usual stuff. And then, all right, the new lucky drop selling method. Okay, cool. Whatever. Oh, I want to see this thing. There it is. So weird. And I prepared myself for the size this time. I know you always get that thing where you think, oh, it's so much smaller than I thought it would be. And
That's what she said.
What?
That's what she said.
Oh my Jesus fucking Christ. I guess it's Father's Day, so dad jokes? Great. Good. Yes, you're right. That is what she said. Yeah. Okay, so I prepared myself for the size because it is always just so much smaller than you think it's going to be. Yeah. I don't know. You know how it is. So this thing, the biggest thing that I'm worried about with this thing is that it's just going to have like a couple moves and then that's going to be it. Oh, it's way lighter feeling than I thought. And it is kind of awkward like I thought it would be. Right away. Can't give like a true review on this, right out of the box. It's very interesting. Huh. Then what's that one I see everyone do? People are making it sit like this. Ah, okay, it only sits like that. I don't know. So far, I don't like it, if I'm being totally honest. It's kind of weird. It's definitely, it's falling into a category more of fidget / skill toy for me. Because, yeah, it's falling into like, where's the other? Ugh. like a knuckle roller kind of thing, where you have to, you gotta learn a whole new thing, right? Same thing with sliders. I went through it again when I had the Lite, where the plates were breaking in, and you had to adjust. You had to adjust like how you push it for what the magnet strength is and there and stuff, and learn what. Oh, that was kind of fun. That one's fun. Yeah, you have to adjust how you use it. You know what? I saw another user, and he said that he went and stonewashed it, and it helped the grip, because I don't know if my hands are tacky right now, but I'm finding that I want them to slide past the metal more, and sort of, but it's almost like sticking more. But I'd rather it slide past. I'm already getting used to it more. So let's see this polarity thing. So it's only, oh, what is the polarity on there? Okay, no, it's just standard. Yeah, okay, just normal. Interesting. Yeah, okay. I don't know, should we open it up? Let's see what's inside it. Might as well. Oh, it still fits on my little blocks. I was kind of thinking it might not. Is he still using Torx 8? Torx 8 is always Magnus. Torx 6 is Modus. These Torx, yep. Didn't go buy new screws for it. Torx 8 still. Pam L, better off with a plastic infinity cube. Never tried one, but yeah, those look interesting. I guess you're getting like an infinity cube sense from it because of the like, it's like it has a that flow sort of thing where it just keeps flowing over itself and flipping and flipping and flipping. Is what I am guessing you are referring to. Huh. Ah, I was right. Good. So, side B. Ooh, there's O-rings in there. Should we just take them out? Should we take them out and see if it's more fun? Make it rattle. So he's got this little... Oh, man, I'm going to have to go get another magnet. Okay. I got to move my magnets. I'm going to put them right here somewhere. I swear to God, I'll do that eventually. One day. I don't have any magnets to pull these out. Okay, so it's similar to like a magic bean sort of configuration, but the opposite, because magic beans, he had small magnets. He had like small magnets in the middle and big magnets on the outside. It made a sort of like almost like an hourglass sort of shape with them. Many more magnets per bean. But I guess that's what he came up with. So that means that you could put stronger ones in there, because the hole, damn it, get away. There, because the hole's big enough for the big one, right? So yeah, you could easily do ones just as big, but honestly, I'm not noticing a problem with it falling, so I'm thinking the strength is kind of okay there. Yeah, maybe I'll try taking all those rings out. Might as well. Got it open. Might as well get all the rings out. What I am going to do, though, try to keep it more... Man, I don't want to mess this up. Be here forever. What's other little holes he's got here? Those must be like for machining. Yeah, it must be like leftover for something for it to grip onto. I bet when he had it this way, so the machining could happen that way, but you need something to hold on to the piece. There's extra holes here because some of those are the screw holes. Huh. All right. Tweezers. Take these out. See what we get. And then, yeah, move on. So yeah, the polarity will matter here, I think. He started doing this, labeling his inside of his plates like that. The A and the B, I think that's to help staff assemble easier and get polarities right. I want that one. And I want it that way. Okay. Take these section out. That. Take just that off. Separate. It's very awkward when it's the different sized ones. Get in there. Okay. Now before I screw it back together, I'm going to check that its polarity is not messed up. Right. So it should match up each kind of side. This is the side without the screws should match up. And the side with the screws should match up. So I'm still good there. So I'll put the screws back in that. And then I'll try to quickly do the other one. And then we'll know if there's any difference without O-rings. And then we'll move on. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. He's talking about this is the most revolutionary fidget to ever come about since the slider or something like that. But oh, Magnus and your buzzwords. Certainly new and interesting. I think it is falling in more of a skill toy sort of idea. Okay. Oh, let's do the other side now. Okay. Then he does the ones, he has the magnets with the little indent. So that shows polarity, right? So that's also helpful. So anyone who's assembling, he probably tells them the A side has to have the indent facing up. And the B side has the indent facing down. And then you can't mess it up. Hopefully. Go. Come on. There we go. I'll give it props for being easy to take apart. Too messy. Yeah. All right. I'm going to turn the other mic on and we'll see if we hear a difference at all. Okay, that's actually kind of cool. Kind of like that noise. Yeah. All right, well, that is the Atom. That is the Magnus Atom. So far, I like it better without the O-rings. A little more clicky. Okay, so I'm going to put that away for now. So one thing I just wanted to mention before we keep going on is that, can you slide it instead of flipping? Not really, no, you can't. It seems you can only really flip it. I mean, I try, but. It's pretty chaotic. It's like ooh. It's chaotic like a Focusworks, what's that round? Ugh, can't even think of it anymore. He's got that round slider. Had it before. Sorry, the name's escaping me. Yeah, its moves are a bit more chaotic. It's more of a slow sort of thing, I'd say. You have to kind of... Very desk toy. Yeah, it might actually. I don't know. What the fuck? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God. You know, I have noise canceling headphones on. You scare the fuck out of me when you throw this shit at me. God. Started throwing something at me. It's treats every stream. Something's thrown at me. Jolly Ranchers. Cool. Jolly Rancher. Thank you, baby.
Do you feel jolly?
I do.
Are you a rancher?
Yep.
Yay!
Okay. Oh, God. God love her. God love her. Okay. I'll put those away. So, one thing I did want to mention, you just missed a snack jump scare. You'll have to go back and watch it.
But there's also pizza.
Yes, I will. I will have the pizza later. No,
See?
I'm having the pizza
I
later.
was trying to show them.
Well, yeah, you
There,
made
They
pizza.
can see it now.
Yeah, that's
He gets
pizza.
pizza too, not just sweets.
Father's Day pizza. I don't just live off sweets.
It's true. See?
Okay,
There's
yeah.
veggies on it. Love you, nerd.
Love you.
No, I said I love you, nerds. To your nerds.
I'm a nerd.
You're like the nerd king. They're the nerdlings. Love you, nerdlings.
Okay. Perfect. Get pizza. I get Father's Day pizza and Jolly Ranchers. Okay, so one thing I want to mention is that I was noticing a lot of people with their Rapt lights are saying they're exploding, okay? And the best thing I can come up with, and this is what Jonas has said too, is that you don't need to be afraid of the screw, okay? So if I had the screw all the way out, the screw is the weak point, all right? And what that means is when you're building something, machining, otherwise and stuff, you want something to be the weak point that's easily replaceable, right? You don't want it to be like the plates or the body or something like that. You just want it to be a dumb little something that you can just get another one of, right? So this is what will break if too much force is applied, but it can take a lot more force than I think some people realize. So if you are screwing this in, I'm going to switch to that close mode. It's not going to work. There. So the screw is out and you can go in, and now it's starting to get to the point where it's tight. And now I think some people might have just stopped right there. They might just get to that point and they might stop. Don't. You can go further. You can go and you can get a whole other half turn out of it. And don't be afraid to just torque it. Okay. And if you do that, it is not going to come out. It's going to be torqued to the point where if you go to take it out, you actually have to apply a bit of pressure to get it out, but it can take it. Okay. It is a metric screw and it has a very dense thread pattern. So it's going to be okay. So I just wanted to put that out there as a little disclaimer thing going on there for that. Okay, cool. So I want to talk about small spinners now because some of them are amazing and I want you guys to know about them. So I want to start with a bit of a famous one, and that would be the Tungsten Mini Edamame. This thing is truly amazing. I've done a review on it before. I've got some special shoes from NJT Handpower on there. It's crystallized titanium. What?
It's good for small hands.
Yes, that is one thing that I was going to mention. Thank you, baby. It is. No, they are. All small spinners are good for good small hands. And that is one of the reasons that she's saying that is because she has very, very small hands. So she tries all of these ones, right? And this is one of the only ones she really does kind of like or something like that, right? Because of the small hands. So if there's anything that's bigger, she's not into it. But I still like really small spinners because I like one that I can just, it's this. It's just tucking it in to your hand and holding it like this, you know, and not having something that's just out there so much. It's more versatile. It's better. It's easier to have in, you know, more places. I've like been, you know, in meetings at work and stuff and had like a spinner under a desk or like doing a class and stuff like that. And no one knows that I have it, right? Because you can just keep these things really, 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 really concealed. I love that about them. I'm still rocking the incredible, amazing, legendary $13 Fox Try spinner. What the heck is that? What is a Fox Try spinner? If I look it up right now, am I going to see it? Let's see if I like, is it on like, or do I just need to, I don't know. Maybe you tell me. Okay. Well, if I can't find it like that, then oh well. But yeah. Anyway, Tungsten Mini Edamame. Very hard to find, but really, really good. If you get a chance to have one of any of these, just do it. You're not going to regret it. I mean, they're really expensive, but it's when you get up to that level with the tungsten and stuff, it's just there's something about tungsten, and I wanted to talk about this one because it's really amazing, and it's LIC EDC, which I talk about a lot because I love it. Jamie Acker kind of designed it around the same time he was doing the full size edamame, and I was pretty like in the beginning hesitant to kind of accept that I was gonna like it, but he sort of convinced me to be like, no, you should get it, you know? Well, yeah, I mean, you can PM it to me now if you want. We can watch it if you want. We're all here hanging out. Or yeah, you can send it to me later too. So yeah, he convinced me that he was like, no, man, I think you really got to try it. Cause I already had the full size tungsten edamame. So he sort of convinced me like, you know, it's different. You know, there's something totally different about it. And for a while, I liked this one better than I liked the full size one. And now I almost can't even decide, to be honest. It's they're up at the top of my list, and there's something so fluid and comfortable about this spinner. And when you add the lightweight of the titanium buttons, it just becomes that perfect size. NJT does a dish button. A lot of the ones he does his calls it like a 3S style. I don't know if that stands for like 3 steps, because it kind of steps down in different levels, but this is his dish style, and it's a great dish. It's great depth. It's simple. And I got him to kind of surprise me on this one with the finish. I asked him if he could make something, oh no, that was on another one, and then he did it again for me because it turned out right. So the story was, I don't have the buttons anymore, but I asked him to do a black anodization on it, and he'd never done it before. And he went, okay, I'll try, but I'll see what I could do. And then he was like, no, dude, it's bad. I hate it. I tried it and it's not good. And I'm like, all right, it's all good. Fine, whatever, you know? And I'm like, why don't you just try to do rainbow? So I guess he rainbowed over the black, or the black that he tried, and you ended up with this, like, I don't know what, I think he kind of like half called it moon rainbow, because it almost looks like a moon crater or something like that. Anyway, this thing is amazing. Amazing. Will always have to be in my collection. I love it. Okay. So we do another one. I can't do all of the ones that I have that are small because it would take up too much time, but eventually we'll get them all in. So the next one. Okay. This one is a bit of one that I was wondering if I was even gonna like it. And then it surprised me more than I even thought it would. All right. So this is a Tungsten Mini Collision. Oh, you're sending me on Facebook. Okay. Let's see if I can, let's see it here. What we got. Okay, we might not have sound, but I'll try. Oh, it's YouTube. We might have sound. Okay, let's try it. It's just a dumb song anyway. That's $13? Cool. That thing's $13? Is it just made of tie or something? Pam L, I am spinning a tri-collision. Oh, cool. Yeah, I got it for like $25 because of Amazon overpay, but I saw the gray one on AliExpress for $13. Oh my God, it's crazy. So this is the Tungsten, like I was saying, Mini Collision. So I was getting into small spinners, small tungsten spinners, and I had it in my head, I need to get more small tungsten spinners. So I was looking for them, and I went, oh, I think I know enough about small tungsten spinners to know that this one is going to be good. And I got on a secondary, and such good condition. Didn't get the machine finished. I did think I wanted machine finished, and this was brushed. Don't really care either way now because, man, this thing flies. The way this thing feels in your hand when you're doing it, it's just fucking ripping. And that is what I really want in the spinner. I love fast spinners. And that's one thing that tungsten can do really well. But if the design isn't right, it can end up not being that great. Pamela, the Fox is stainless steel and the ones with the beads are aluminum. Cool. I really need to get into more tri spinners, and I am trying to try more tri spinners. But it's, I've had a few, and I find them, if they're too smooth and too good at like correcting themselves on the axial plane, I don't want it. And I want to feel something like when it's like this one. It's like when you fling this thing. I don't know if you know the term judder, but judder is what you feel in a bar spinner when you change its position on the axial plane and you get that like shaking feeling. And I've seen some people who are new to spinners getting a bar spinner and posting on, Facebook groups and stuff going, hey, man, is it normal? Like I just got this spinner and I don't know if they talk like that, but it's good. And like every time I move it, like, is it normal for it to like just shake and stuff? And then like people are like, oh yeah, dude, rock on. They're like, yeah, that's what you're going for. That's called judder, dude. Good one. You got a good thing. And then he's like, oh, I don't know. I like it. And then everyone says, well, then you probably want a tri spinner, because tri spinners, they don't have like the shake as much as they have just this gyroscopic feel as it's changing on the axial plane. It's not judder, just feels gross. So stock bearing is butter, but use it for a while and it feels broken. Yeah, the thing about that kind of brings up a good point that I wouldn't remember unless you said that, is that, okay, so I saw this one guy and he was selling all of these spinners, and somewhere in the sale, I can't remember how, he basically revealed the fact that all of the spinners had the same bearing in it when he had gotten them. And I think I even had to make a comment because someone else did. They were like, hold on a second. You have all of these spinners and you haven't changed a bearing out ever? And it might sound kind of snobby, but it's like in my personal opinion, you can't fully enjoy fidget spinners unless you invest in the equipment to change bearings out and you try different bearings and stuff. Because I can't remember the amount of times that I have gotten a spinner and then just the act of changing the button and the bearing will make a spinner go from to, oh my fucking God, I can't live without it. It can be that drastic of a change. And bearings themselves are so fucking finicky and fragile and weird and so inconsistently made. You wouldn't believe, like I've said before, when you start getting picky and bitchy about bearings like I am, you can get a whole batch of bearings stock from someone, right? Like I'll order my bearings from China from a manufacturer, and I'll order from the same place that somewhere like Unquiet Hands or, some other guy that's selling them for 3 times the markup. Usually they'll mark it up 3 times the price that I would buy bearings for. And you'll buy a big bunch of them, right? And you'll get them all there, and then you'll put one in and you'll be like, what the hell? You'll be like, okay, that's not like that last one I tried. And then you put another one in and you go, oh, wow, that's great. It's so finicky because they're so small, right? They're so small. They're not easy to make perfect every time. So this thing's amazing. And I mean, you need to try out bearings. You try different buttons, try bearings. I have avoided selling spinners because I want to try more bearings and more buttons on it before I am sure that I don't like it. But this one is, for now, one that I absolutely need to keep in the collection. I just love it. I don't use it all the time, but it's one of those ones. I do have a lot of stuff in my collection where I don't use it all the time, but every once in a while I'll check in and I'll give it a spin and I'll go, oh, fuck yeah, that's why you're still here. And sometimes I pick up something and go, why are you still here? Right? So that is the Tungsten Mini Collision by Cap with NJT crystal titanium buttons in there. That's his 3-step design on his buttons versus the dish. Absolutely probably my favorite button maker aside from FTO. Full Throttle Originals, Nick McKenty. It's super easy to change the bearing on this spinner, thankfully, but I still haven't. Yeah, well, see, that could be the difference. That could be the difference between you liking it or not, right? I'm so bitchy now that if a bearing isn't right and I'm being lazy about changing it, I just won't pick it up. I just won't pick it up because I can't handle it. I'll know exactly what's going on, but I'll be too tired after work or too lazy, and I just won't want to get all the stuff out and do it. Even though I know I can do it fast, I'll just be like, won't do it. But I won't pick it up because I know what's going on. I know exactly what's happening and be like, it needs its bearing changed. And then when I finally do it, I'm like, there it is. Perfect again. Okay. This next one's a little different. So, what I want to talk about now is another 2EDC one. Love 2EDC. Love it. Okay. But I wanted a bit of a too much 2EDC. I don't know. So this is the Tungsten Nest. OG Nest. Not to be confused. We'll get the other one out. Where is it? Ugh. So it's always really hard to tell in photos which is the big one and which is the little one. So this will give you kind of a idea. One thing I always do when I'm looking at someone's hand holding it, I'll kind of look at my hand and I'll be like, how many fingers does that cover? And then I'll know more like what the size is sometimes. I'll be able to like judge just by like how much of that is like if he's holding it like that, like how much of the finger is it covering up? And I'll be like, oh, okay, that's probably the small one, right? So that's a big one, but it's big. It's not small. So we're not talking about that. This is small OG Tungsten Nest. And this thing, okay, so this has got to be, for me, a gateway tungsten spinner for someone who's like, tungsten's too heavy for me, okay? Because even with this, with its OG buttons on there, it barely makes 135 grams, okay? Now, some people who are only into, plastic or titanium spinners and stuff like that, they'll be like, that's still too heavy for me. But the thing is that it's small enough that it doesn't feel that way. Pam L, I have the OG in stainless. I don't pick it up much to spin. Yeah, and I haven't been picking this one up much to spin as well. But when I do, I go, it's a good spinner. Like, it is a good spinner. Do you think the Fushi bearings are decent? They are. They're pretty good. Those are cheap, and I remember Gavin talking about them in an older video. They can be. I find them finicky. Like, I find some are slow, and then the last one I got that was an absolute ripper was, I actually got it. It was installed in my Black & Tungsten Naboo 2.0. So the Fushi ones will say Fushi on the outside, but they're essentially the same thing as a Jupiter bearing from Unquiet Hands. So when you kind of start looking at the components that a bearing's made out of, you can kind of tell, you're like, okay, this is the same. It's the same race, like the race is the outside part that holds the balls in show you here. This has a golden eagle in it. So if you're talking about the bearings, so like the race is like around here, and then this center part, it's the race. So it'll be like, okay, it'll be like stainless steel race, on it, and then your cage is what's holding in the bearings. So see, it's different on the outside there. It's that middle part in there that actually holds the balls in there, and then you'll have the ball material. So you have your race material, your cage material, and your ball material. And all spinners tend to just be made up of different combinations of those, right? So that's why you end up having hybrid ones where it's like metal race, and then it'll, like, my favorite one ever is stainless steel races with a stainless steel double retainer cage, and then it has 10 ceramic balls in it, right? So that's a hybrid one. Fidget dude just joined. Hey, I'm Fidget nerd, dude. Just joined the live. Is that an XL or standard? It's standard. We're talking about the OG Nest in tungsten. It's in tungsten. That's probably why they are sold in 10 packs. Yes. And they're fast. They're fast. And when I got it in my Naboo 2.0, oh man, I was like, because I'm not the kind of guy that's going to go, oh, I don't like that bearing. Like, I'll get it out. I won't even try it. No, I'll give it a try. And I gave the one a try in the Naboo 2.0, and it was fucking ripping. I was pulling great warps with it. I have a short out there where people are asking, like, what bearing is in there? That looks so good. And it's just like this amazing warp, and the rate of deceleration on the peak of the warp is just like perfect. It's like hanging there for like almost 2 seconds at the peak. And I'm like, man, it's like a Jupiter / Fushi kind of one that just came in their stock with the damn thing. So I don't know what to tell you. So they can be good. They can be good. I had some. I got rid of mine because I just started liking the other one I was talking about there. I get that one for like $1.50, I think, each a bearing, but you have to order like at least, I think, 25 or something like that. So yeah. Victor OE, do you have any tip on an available heavier copper with reasonable price? I don't know. Depends what reasonable price is for you, right? You have to give me more of a price range there. These things can get kind of weird. So yeah, the Tungsten Nest. Perfect for small hands. Okay. This thing only comes in, like I said, about 130 grams and about 53, I believe I just measured it before the stream, in length. So it's longer than you would think it is, but I think it's because of these rounded edges. We're used to seeing like square edges and designs and stuff to show us like that's how long it is. And you have like, design lines saying like this. But when you have rounded edges, I believe it kind of tricks the mind into thinking it's actually shorter because we can't see exactly where the longest point is on that circle. So that it tricks my mind, right? I thought it was shorter. I thought it was less than 50, but it's actually a 53 mil long one. So it's just, I don't know. It's like the spin on it is great. I love it. I don't know why I don't pick it up enough. Because when I pick it up, I go, it is really good. But I think one of the things that can be hard for people to get used to is the fact that this thing has the sort of rare, sort of not, 20 mil diameter buttons. So most spinners that you deal with, like the last two I just showed you, those have more of the standard 24.5 mil buttons, or 1 inch. 24.5 mils is an inch in Imperial. So that's another thing that's very unique about it. And it kind of demands more of a spin like this. So some people are going to spin like this all the time. I do both, and it really depends. I kind of pretty fluid with it. Some people spin like this, and some people almost religiously spin like this, where your ring finger is your main pole, and your pointer just sort of holds it and kind of releases it, almost like a spring. It's pretty satisfying when you get used to doing that. And this spinner is like, it's so perfect for it. Because of the smaller buttons, this position demands more of a fingertip sort of hold on your spinner. Whereas when you hold something with your pointer and your thumb, I find it sort of demands more of a flat kind of hold on your thumb. you can't really, it's hard to like hold something like this for some reason and actually get a decent rip. I can't really do it. I don't know what it is. I need to have my thumb down like that and go like that. And it's because of this. It's because of how we snap our fingers, right? If you think of the spinner being between here and this is your engine, that's what that comes from. So that's why when you're holding like that, you got to kind of have it more flat on your thumb. So for anyone that is into that kind of thing, that's just how the spinner, I think, is meant to be. And it is just dainty and beautiful and stuff. So yeah, that is the Tungsten OG Nest from Two EDC. That being said, I'm selling this. Okay. So I'm actually selling this for $300. I mean, you guys are first to know about it, but yeah, I'm putting this one away and it will be going up on a marketplace unless someone buys it because they see the video, but I will have in the video whether or not it's still for sale. But yeah, this one is leaving because of my case. It is too full and I need to get it less full. So it'll ship with probably another one of those bearings in there, and then one of my favorite bearings as well as some little side extra goodies. This one, I got it from another member who was very, very gracious for me to be able to get it because I wanted one. And at the time, all I had was what was it? It was a tri-spinner from Focusworks. Man, all the names are just like eluding me now. It was his tri-spinner and it was in tungsten there. The Axis Micro S in tungsten. So it was too smooth for me, too smooth of one. And I was talking to Janet Hobson there, just like the fairy fidget godmother of the fidget community. She's just like so wonderful to the point. And this is how wonderful she is. I wanted to trade something because I didn't have the money at the time. And she said, well, you want this nest that she was selling for another member who's getting out of the fidget community, Sean Dumas. Wanted to collect flashlights instead for some reason. So was selling most of his fidget stuff. So she's helping him sell it. So she's got this thing up and she's got this for sale. And I say, oh God, really? I want one of those. She goes, oh, okay. I'll make sure we'll set aside for you something. She's like, okay, you have a Axis Micro S. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, how about this? She's like, you send me the Micro S because I know someone else who's looking for one. So when I get the Micro S, I can sell it to that person, get the money from them, and then give Sean Dumas that money that would have been the sale money for this. That's like going out of her way. That's going out of her way to just be so kind and loving and wonderful in this community. Everyone loves Janet. Janet's great. Anyway, that's the story of how I got this one. So yeah, but it is, we got to make room. I got to make room for the ones that are just the absolute bangers to me. So yeah, this one's going to go up for sale. What we got here? That's not too bad. If you're good at bearings. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But unfortunately, tungsten, right? So that's the way it works. Yeah, I'll have it up. Like I said, I'll post in the live whether or not it's still available. And then I'll be putting it up when I have the time on one of the marketplaces or something like that. So we'll move that eventually. So it doesn't come with any COA or anything like that or boxes because Sean Dumas just like didn't believe in keeping that stuff. So I don't know. Anyway. The next one I want to talk about is fucking legendary. I can't, this one, it really blew my mind. Yeah, I can't really say enough about this one. It's like, it's such a small little spinner and it's by, oh my God, fucking don't remember the name now. Oh God. Why are my names so bad today? Tom Linné is the maker, designer, and it's Unquiet Hands. God damn it. Unquiet Hands, of course. Okay. So Unquiet Hands, one of my favorite makers, makes such good stuff, all about the quality, not the quantity. And Tom Linné is he's an absolute sweetheart of an owner and a man. He's just wonderful. He's so wonderful to deal with. Always so thankful of like anyone, talking nicely about his spinners or his company or anything like that. And just like so grateful and thankful. So this is the Tungsten Sage in a machine finish. I got it on the secondary. Someone wanted to get like $500 for it or something like that. And I was like, I don't know, man. The best I could do is like, $354 or something like that. Talk to me if you don't sell it. And eventually he didn't sell it for that. So he contacted me. He said, hey, do you want it? And I was like, I do want that. This thing is so amazing. It's like, I don't think I could ever get rid of it. And some people think, why? I mean, it's so tiny. It's like this tiny little thing in your hand. And it's because it's like flipping a coin over and over and over again in your hand and catching it just perfectly. And I don't know how to describe it. There's just something very small and easy and satisfying about it. Once again, NJT for the win with charcuterie, if that's how you say it. I don't know how to say charcuterie. It's a weird metal word. But yeah, there goes. Charcuterie buttons on there. He surprised me with the finish. Said I want charcuterie, and he just fucking came up with this. Blew my mind. It's absolutely wonderful. The grip on them is amazing. This is the tungsten one. I'm going to show it to you because this doesn't need to have those buttons on there to be awesome. So I want to find that. Okay. So Tungsten Dune right now is sporting its grips because it happens to be really good with them on there. So the one thing that's the problem with the Sage, and I don't like it when people get scared away from the Sage when they get one and they maybe are like me and their hands aren't small enough to use it without shims. So you kind of need to have, I kind of need to put shims in there and then a longer post. Unfortunately, you can only put a longer post in the tungsten one because it's too hard to machine a dedicated threaded post into tungsten. So all the other Sage buttons and most of Unquiet Hand stuff, actually, their buttons have what is called a dedicated threading. And this part is basically integrated into the button, all right? So it becomes impossible to use these kinds of shims. I did see recently that Tom Linné actually, had watched one of my older videos that I did on the Copper Sage, and I mentioned this, and he had talked about wanting to like work out something. And then recently I saw that he had released special shims just for their buttons that deals with that problem. So that's really good. So this spinner, it just changes everything once you get that up a little bit there, because I find most spinners, unless you have at least, like this is shimmed and this is only poking up over the edge, what I would consider to be like a good minimum for me. Because I like a tight clearance, but that is like, that's shim. So you have to imagine this down there, it's like barely anything. It's less than a mil of clearance over the body. So I'm going to show you what it sounds like with this because it quiets it right down. So that's it at its like quiet kind of stage. And it's still not even that heavy. Almost a perfect weight, really, in my opinion. The whole like keeping it around the 150 sort of idea. So beautiful spinner. Absolutely love it. And then I had Nick from FTO make me some 23 mils. What else I should mention is that this spinner uses a bit of a more unique size as well. It is a 23 mil button. Yeah, it's not lighter than the Nest because it's kind of thick. When you think about it, it's kind of thick. It's good 12 mil at the peak, but then it goes down, right? So it is a bit of a thicker one, right? And that's why. Anything with tungsten, when you start getting anything a little bit thicker, it just like, it's such a heavy metal. It's like 20 mil wide. So yeah, but 23 mil buttons is what this thing takes. So I had Nick make me some 23 mil grips for this. Hopefully it still sounds good. I think so. Yeah. I want you to listen to when I'm flipping it and then catching it in my hand, because I want to see if you can hear it. But this is one of, with the Ultem buttons, it became like one of the most addictive sounds and like noises to keep doing repetitively. You get what I'm saying? It's pretty cool. So I wanted a little bit more weight, and I was kind of like not into the Ultem button thing for a while there. So I went back to the custom circuity ones that I had made. This is what they sound like. So a little bit quieter, but a bit of the same quality, right? But again, just emphasizing that just changing the buttons, because buttons are speakers and or microphones for your bearings, right? Hola, papi. You fucker. Haven't seen you a bit in the stream. That is my favorite one, I think. I think that's just the operator. Yeah, it's just operator. You know it. Boom, boom. Yep. Ali in the house. Prince Ali Ababwa. Okay, so there you go, man. I mean, like, this thing is just, I don't know. Hectic month. Hey, having a good Father's Day, though? My stepkid's not even here. He's with his biological father. So I'm just hanging out, streaming. Yeah, so there we go. The Tungsten Sage, man. It's legendary. And, you know, Tom Linné is legendary. He's such a good guy. Such a good guy. We love him. Yeah. I promised him eventually I would do a review on the Tungsten Sage, because I did the copper one. He said he really liked that review. It made me feel really good. So here you go. Happy Father's Day to all. Yes. Happy Father's Day. May you all get to mow the lawn and have beer and stuff like that. Man, I really got to go get a drink after this later or something. Okay, so Tungsten Sage. That's all I want to say about that. Yeah, going over time a little bit here, but yeah, I want to talk about another one. Put this away. So this next one is Two EDC once again. Two EDC once again. Pretty sort of legendary one. I already showed you the bigger version I have of it. And this is this small version, the Poe. Okay. So the Tungsten Poe, I know we're in a tungsten small spinner thing going on here, but you know, that's why I like. Figured might as well talk about all the tungsten ones. So the Tungsten Poe is named after the Legend of Zelda ghost. I don't know if you know that. When I first heard that there was a Poe, I kind of thought to myself, is that the Legend of Zelda ghost that you put in jars? You know, like in Ocarina of Time or something like that? And then once I got to know Samuel Roscoe more, the designer, and talked to him more about it, he was like, yeah, no, big Zelda fan. So that's also why we have the triangle. It's the Triforce. It's literally a triangle of the Triforce. So that's the inspiration for that one as well. So the big Poe is actually one of the ghosts in Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And he's told me that if he wanted to make an even bigger Poe, he'd probably save that and call that the Grand Poe, which is like the biggest Poe ghost you can collect in Tears of the Kingdom. So you get the most Poes for that one. So yeah, that's where Poe comes from. The Poe is a redesign of the Bantam by Grave Raven. Now, I don't know if anyone remembers that one. It's like so old. I don't even have it because it's hard to get. Okay. And it had this very, very strange bearing in it that I can't even remember what it is now. It was like something between the R188 that like we all use now, and I think it was a bit smaller or something like that. Best spinner ever? What, like in history? Dude, I don't know. Oh my God. I don't know. Poe's pretty good. Poe's not the best spinner ever, but yeah, there's some good ones. I'll have to be a special do. I'll do the best spinners ever. But yeah, the triangle for sure actually is probably one of the best spinners ever that I have. It's one that if like someone was like, let's just grab two or three, it would definitely be one of the ones I would like pop to my mind, right? To grab. The bearing thinner. I don't think the bearing was thinner. It might not have been, but I can't be for sure. I didn't gather that information before I started the stream. I have looked it up before, but the bearing essentially was something that was just like, why would you want, the big triangle. So Ali's trying to help me find a big triangle because I like the small triangle so much. So I've had Ali, AAO here, kind of on the detective route to help me find a big triangle. So if any of you here have one too, let me know. Yes, something like that. I think it actually starts with an M, Pam, if I'm not mistaken. And it basically, what it did is it was a really, really good spinner and a really great design. And everyone really loved it. But it had like this bearing that you couldn't get a hold of as easily as an R188, which is what we all use. So it was kind of like people would decide, like, what do I want to do here? Do I want to have like an extra stock of W Fidget Dude tungsten big triangle? Any finish doesn't matter. I'm probably having it refinished by someone else, actually, even if I get something else. I'm probably going to send it to Michael Coco, I think. And so the bearing was weird. So we had to have other bearings. So you had to sit there and go, okay, so do I want to have like 608 bearings? And then do I want to have these R188 bearings? And then people stopped using 608 bearings in fidget spinners, and it started going all to the R188. So people are going, fuck, I love this the Bantam and stuff, but Everyone calls it the Grave Raven. I don't know. That's the maker, though. You gotta not get confused. It's the Bantam, as far as I know, by Grave Raven. But everyone calls it like the Graven spinner because I think it's one of the only spinners they ever did. So if I start calling it the Graven or the Grave Raven, forgive me. So people were going like, I don't know what I want to do, right? Like, do I want to keep stocking all these bearings? So what Samuel did is he went and he talked to the makers of Grave Raven, and sorry, Ali, you're right. It's the binary fusion. I knew I was fucking getting that wrong the entire time. So yeah, scrap everything I said. I think the Bantam is something completely different. Might have been one that Grave Raven made. I don't know. These are old spinners that I don't know about. So it is the binary fusion. The binary fusion by Grave Raven is what this looks like and is modeled off of. Samuel Roscoe got permission from Grave Raven, got their blessing to make another one that looked very similar that used an R188 bearing because he loved the spinner. So many other people loved the spinner. And he thought, I've got an idea. Why don't I make this thing? I'll call it the Poe. It'll be slightly different here and there. I think it's a bit thicker, if I'm not mistaken. And here we are. Now we have the Poe. Everyone loves it because it's an R188 bearing. And yeah, it rips. It rips. The Grave Cabin in copper. Never heard of the Grave Cabin. Never heard of it. You got some nice older spinners then, Pam. That's cool. So yeah, this one is, I'm going to say that over the OG Nest, I'd say I like this one a bit better. I think this one's a bit heavier. It's a bit thicker. Yeah, bit heavier because the Nest was barely 135. So it's only about 10 grams. Grave CA in copper. Cool. I don't know if I know about that one yet. So this thing just flings. I don't know what it is about putting a golden eagle bearing in there, but I find that for some reason with this design, I put any other kind of bearing in there and it becomes like way louder, like almost obnoxiously loud. It's interesting. I don't know if I'm putting weird bearings in there. I kept trying different ones. And for some reason just landed on the golden eagle being one of the best ones for it. So that's what I'm putting in there. This is what it sounds like. Stupid autocorrect. Okay, I get what you're saying now, Pam. I had a feeling that was it, but yeah. So, Pam, would you say that this looks very similar to the Grave Raven? A little bit different? Anyway. Yeah, this guy. And it's small. It's small. It's not really that long. Calipers. Grave Raven is a cool name, but remember, that's just the name of the company. I think it would have been a better name for a spinner. And I think that's why everyone ends up calling the binary fusion the Grave Raven, because deep down, everyone just kind of thinks that Grave Raven is a cooler name than binary fusion. Binary fusion is pretty cool too. But I think there's something about Grave Raven that just kind of rolls off the tongue. So I think that's why everyone kind of just calls it that. So yeah, this... I have to move this as well. This I'm also selling for $300 and it's in great condition. So this will be on the video description whether or not it's still for sale. And then when I get the time and energy, I will move it on to one of the groups or something like that. Because it is one of those ones where I pick it up and I like it in the right mood, but it's kind of like when you end up having enough stuff that you really, really love, it becomes harder and harder to really like play with everything. And I know there's people out here who have tons and tons of stuff. And I have a buddy in the groups named Jeremy Campbell. And his philosophy is that I don't care if I have drawers and drawers full of shit that I hardly ever use. And I don't care if I have something that's like just sits there, because who cares if one time I like pick it up, once a month and I go like, oh yeah, that's really cool. And on one side of it, I really agree with that sense. But then the other side of it, I go, this stuff's expensive. And I have this whole other philosophy that I've talked about before called the Pelican case law, which is I have a Pelican case just like my buddy Gavin Sexton, the Pelican case 1170. It's a really good size. You can fit a good, decent, probably, depending on how you match the space around, a good like 30 to 35 fidgets in there. And that's kind of a really great number, I think. It's like, we've talked about it before, and we've gone like, if you are collecting things and you wanted to like really love every single one of them, it's really hard to get it up to that actual number and be like, yeah, every single one of these 30 plus fidgets in here is just banging to me, and I love it. So I have these two sort of philosophies that I fight with. And right now I'm more on the Pelican case law, that you don't really need to have more fidgets than can fit in your Pelican case. And if I do, which I do right now, then I should probably start making some different decisions and thinking about what I really, really, really do love. And even though I love the Poe and I love 2EDC, I'm going to move this and see if I regret it. This one does come with its COA and stuff. So that's good. Got this one off the secondary in part trade. Oh, I could even write my name there. That's cool. I didn't know he did that on his COA's owners. That's a cool idea. I know no one respects it because the last guy didn't put his name in there, but yeah, that'd be kind of neat. Yeah, so this one comes with that. And it's little baggy. And I'll be throwing other bearings in there too and stuff, and Fidget Nerd stickers and goodies like that. So yeah, there we go. I'll put that one away for now. And put that into my selling section of my organization. So, price $300. I think they went for $350 or something like that, but yeah. Pam L. Pearl Gray Raven Sight. It is a miniature. Oh. Okay, yeah. Yeah, 5 by 11 by 4 mil dry lube hybrid ceramic bearing. Yeah, with stainless steel races and 2 metal. So a double retainer probably is what it means by 2 metal shield. That would protect the. Or no, it's fully shielded. Yeah, 2 metal shields. Oh, so 2 metal shields just means fully shielded because it's shielded on both sides, right? So you could just say shielded bearing or fully shielded bearing. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. They're, you can get them. I looked it up. You can still get them, but it just became this idea of like, why do I want to have all these bearings, right? Shielded, I'm not the biggest fan of. I find them too quiet and I find them too hard to, I like to spray my bearings out with air dusters and stuff like that. So it becomes like I don't know. But yeah, they should be dry lube. That's the other thing is like shielded ones. Some shielded ones will have like one drop. It's called one drop because it's supposed to have one drop of lube underneath the shield. And fair enough, but there's like kind of like this rule. Never lube your bearings. Ever lube your fidget spinner bearings. You should just not do it. One of these days I will do a live where I will finally use my Sonic cleaner that I bought a while back. It's a Sonic jewelry cleaner. And I want to try that on some of the bearings that I have that are either too dirty or broken and run them through it and see what happens and see if we can bring some of them back to life. But that you're just supposed to clean them really good and dry them out, spray them out with air or whatever, hair dryer kind of thing. Dry and lubeless. Time FC Essentials sold his version of that bearing and it was all open. It was not a shielded bearing. Okay, well, good. There's versions of it as well. All right, one more. 2EDC again. Samuel, you bastard. 2EDC again. He makes such good stuff. So this is the Tungsten Ziggy. And it has got some NJT crystallized titanium grips on there. I have not been able to get rid of this one because it is just so tight and gyroscopic. It's unbelievable. It's like you would think that something with such small arms like this would like have it not feel that way. But what I think is happening, I was talking to Samuel about this, is that when you think about it, if you had, I'm going to explain this. So if you have a bar spinner that's just like straight up and down, right? And it's not, the arms aren't really wrapping anymore around the bearing. They're just kind of straight on. Each one of these arms is helping to deal with 180 degrees of the correcting on the axial plane. Because 360 divided by 2 is 180 last time I checked. So each one is dealing with 180 degrees of correcting on the axial plane. And it's not enough. 180 on each side isn't enough, and that's why you get judder. So with something like a tri-spinner with equal arms on 3 sides, now all of a sudden you have each arm dealing with 120 degrees of correcting on the axial plane. And that works a lot better. That's why with a tri-spinner, oh God, it's fine. That's why with a tri-spinner, you can get that feeling of it sort of like just kind of hovering on your finger, and you can kind of move it around and it's like it's floating like a little helicopter, because it does a way better job of correcting itself, having each arm dealing with 120. So I think what's happening here with this one and with similar ones like the talked about before, the Comrade, I think so. The Companion by Illuma FX. Really big buttons, but these arms that are sort of kind of wrapping around as well. So I see a lot of inspiration for the Ziggy coming from something like the Companion. So I think the fact that these arms are kind of wrapping past, I think we start getting a hybrid sort of, I want to call these kinds of spinners like almost like a hybrid bi-tri sort of thing, like, or bar-tri kind of thing. Yeah, it is really nerdy talk because I think about this shit a lot. But I mean, like, come on. Samuel agreed with me. Yeah, I was talking to him about this exact thing, and he was like, yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. So this thing, this Ziggy, you end up getting this really, really tight, centric, gyroscopic feel. And you also get a little bit of the judder at the same time. It's a really interesting kind of thing. But this thing is like, it's quite a beast. And I will see if who's wearing its buttons right now. Yeah, the Copper Edamame is wearing its original buttons. So if I were to put the original ones, does the Bel Air do a similar thing? Interesting. I've never tried that one. I'm trying to get into lighter spinners more, and I'm trying to get into more tri-spinners. I want to try more things. I like trying new things, and I don't want to get stagnant. So I was kind of more not into the lighter stuff. And it's like, it's still doing it with these big chunky buttons on here. So I don't know. Who wants to guess how heavy this tungsten thing is? Yeah, I want to try more tries. Interesting. Yeah, this thing's big. 245 grams. Yep. Nope. Too low. Not 210. Close. It's big. That's big. Yeah. Good Lord. It is a chunky boy. Very chunky boy. Thick boy. Very thick boy. But we love him. Ziggy. Ziggy is actually named after a little bit of trivia here. If you watched my other Ziggy review, you would have known this, but originally Samuel Roscoe had a bigger design of this. This is like his mini design. So if he had even had the bigger one made in tungsten, we're talking like this like gargantuan beast of like probably over 300, just like, what the hell am I doing kind of thing. Like, I better go sit down on the couch if I want to like spin this and like, you know, do some reps first or something. So he had a bigger one of this that he had named Bowie. So if anyone listens to Bowie, the smaller one's called Ziggy. So yes, it is named after the album Ziggy Stardust. So I think the way Samuel names his stuff is fun. It's fun and cool. So yeah, that's a little too heavy for me and it doesn't sound as good. I'll show you the difference in the sound here. Cause again, microphones, speakers, buttons are microphones, speakers for your bearings. Heavier the buttons, the less sound. So hear this. Very quiet. And you're really only hearing that because it's, you know, it's like crazy mic that's like picking up stuff. But to my ear, you wouldn't really hear it. You'd have to put it right up to your ear. Put it that way. You'd put it right up to your ear and then you'd be getting that. But if you're just spinning it in your hand, probably not going to hear a damn thing. And then this is with titanium buttons. That part of the sound is what you can hear. You can hear that glassy sort of whir, even without putting it up to your ear. So that's one of my other favorite ones. And there we go. Now, if I had to, maybe I'll tier these really quick. Oh, I forgot to say that along with the spinners, I will be selling these buttons. This one would be, this is a flamed 20 mil diameter that would fit either the Nest or the Poe by NJT. I think that one will go for 100. Almost what I bought it for. And then 20 mil FTO by Nick McKenty, Ultem. I think those are just $40. Anyway. Okay. Real quick gut tiering of these before I go. Yeah. Then was that all of them? God, I got so much stuff out here. It's crazy. That'll be it. 222. Yeah. These are just legendary. These are right there. And these are just less for me. And then, yeah, so we got $40. $40 for the Ultem one. 100 for the mokume. Actually, before I go here, you should listen to one of them with the Ultem. It's pretty cool. Right? Fuck it, we'll do the Nest too. Ultim's so crazy that way. God, it's like it turns a spinner that you would normally just be able to, use around anyone and no one's really going to get like too pissed off, to where my wife will be like, no, can you please stop spinning that for fuck's sake? I'm like, okay, sorry. Pretty cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't have anything else for today, so I'm going to be signing off. Thanks for watching. And next Sunday, I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. Kind of have to see what I get in the mail. I know there's some exciting stuff coming up. But I can't say too much right now because I don't want to say something and it's not come to fruition and stuff like that. But I do know that I have some things I'm excited about. Some giveaways and some new stuff and things like that. So thanks all everyone. And thanks for watching once again. And yeah, happy Father's Day.